Alright, Briv, I was reviewing the video, and it looks like you got about a total of 13 throws. I know it sounds judgy to say that, but really it's not a problem, as that's what I was trying to do with you. Before, when we got to like 40, you start getting really nothing out of the 30, and now that we've ramped up the intensity, when I was watching the video, throws 10 and 11, 11, 12 rather, were pretty crappy. It looked like you were just trying to force, I think the video, this one is specifically 11, when you're really trying to force the throw to get better. The thing is, what we're going to have to do with this is we're going to try to get around like 10 to 15 throws of practice, but that means we're going to have to get a lot more out of them. You can't just show up, take 10 throws, and then be like, cool, done for the day. You're going to have to focus more on, if you saw Justin at that practice, he was writing down things in a notebook before and after he threw. So I'm going to have you do something similar, where you write down, this is what I'm focusing on this throw, and then after you throw, what it felt like. This went wrong, this didn't feel good, I didn't do this, I wish I did this instead. Like any feedback you have on the throw itself, you just write down like what you feel about it. And then when you're getting up to the throw, you visualize yourself, which you need to get a better mental picture of what you should be doing. So you need to start watching more videos of people throwing. So just going on YouTube for like 5-10 minutes a day, even less if you want, and then just watching people throw. Just watch like former Olympics, watch big time meets, learn who the pros and world record holders are. If you need help with this, let me know and I can send you some videos and just watch them ad nauseum. Find the world record throws for check out Rainey Barnes throwing the world record in shot and just watch it 100 times. Watch Ryan Krauser, watch guys like Mac Wilkins throw discus. Just watch these guys throw over and over and over again. And then you'll have this picture in your mind, and you'll start to understand, well, I want this to feel like this, I want this to go like this. So your practice would be like, you take a longer rest between each throw. You don't do 2 discs, you do 1 disc. Well, you can throw 2 and then retrieve, or if you just want to stick to 1, like if you want to get good with the red disc, stick to the red disc and just be like, okay, you write down in your notebook, this is what I'm working on. Then you go into the circle. You visualize what you want your throw to be like. This is even power throws. Every single time you throw an implement, it counts. Do the visualization. Take your throw. Reflect. What went wrong? What went right? What did it feel like? What was good? What was bad? Just anything you have to say about it. Take a rest. Walk around. Think about the throw. And then go and throw again. After this gets into your head a bit more, you'll be able to get more out of each and every throw, rather than, well, you took 10 throws and maybe like 2 or 3 of them you really worked hard on this one thing. Now if we get to the throw itself, so here it is in full motion, well, half speed. So the big thing is this is after I pointed out about going up and down. So if you watch, you're leading with the shoulders, you're dropping that left down, and then your right starts to lead forward, and that's how you think you're going to get through. You want the disc behind you. You want to be basically running away from the disc at this point. And so you lead with the shoulders, you get all the way around and open with your shoulders. The idea of the rotation is to create separation. So you're trying to get the legs ahead of the disc so you can create this like whip at the front of the circle. And then you think the rise is if you see your chin pop up there. But if you look at your legs just turn, there's no dip down, it just stays in place, and then you jump up, but you're actually going down because your shoulders are diving into the circle because you're trying not to fall over. So everything's going down into the middle rather than up. At this point, you want to be jumping up. You want the discus up in the sky. You want the discus heading to where you want to be throwing it. Your foot's flat. You're not on your toes, so you can't really turn. And then you try to get around, and you have to overthrow it, so your right foot and your hip can't get into the throw to get it down the middle, or else you're going to dump it into the woods. So if you look at that line and you look at your shoulders, see them pop up. Then if you watch your hips stay at the same level, see? And then they jump up there, but your shoulders are going down. So, I mean, it's coming along, but I really think we need to get that tempo of the up-down going soon, and then we can start working on the other stuff. Because I think that I think with you, like I would like to work on the right leg drop and the left 9 o'clock drop rather, and the getting your right foot out wide and getting on left and all that stuff. But I think with you, the rhythm of the throw is so important. I think that once you get the big block stuff of just the rhythm, I think the other stuff we can kind of like piece in and chisel out of that big block that we've already got in place. But it's looking good. Alright, Justin, got hammer and disc on the back end of this video. The first thing is with Priv, I already kind of have the volume figured out. He cannot handle a lot of volume, so we pulled back the volume tremendously, and you're kind of getting caught up in that wave, and you can handle a lot of volume. I haven't seen you get tired from just purely throwing. I'm pretty sure I could have you do laps and just get you tired, but I haven't seen you I haven't seen your performance really tank because you've taken too many throws. So what we need to do one of these days this week is Priv and I are just going to sit in the field, and we're just going to retrieve the discs, all 4 of them, and you're just going to keep throwing, and I'm going to try to get you to 100 throws, and Priv's going to take 1 for every 10 throws you do. So it gives him a long break in between, and then it's going to push you to your limits. We're going to see exactly where you start to taper off. If around, like, say, 50 to 70, you start really getting beat up, we'll pull back, you let you rest and all that stuff, and you can take little breathers in here and there. But the idea is we can't really talk much. We need to push you to your limit, because the notebook stuff might actually be a slower progress for you than just having you take 100 throws of practice. If 100 throws of practice, if you're making little improvements here and there, if we get 100 throws of practice, 500 throws a week, and we can kind of piece together little progress, maybe that'll be better than saying, okay, I want to focus really hard to get this done, and then, oh, I forgot, so this throw doesn't count now. And then you got 10 throws in, and you missed out on that. So if we look at the first throw here, this is at half speed. If you just watch, your right foot has the continual piston motion. It never gains speed, and because it doesn't gain speed, you actually slow down from the winds. So your right foot's on the ground, it's nice and long, it's waiting nice and long. Granted, your left foot's already ahead of the ball, which is bad. But then you just have this long travel with the right leg. Right here is where you want to get it down. You want it down there. You're already there. You just need to complete the down. And then you just let it hang in the air, and you keep going. This is the earliest you can start speeding up the ball, and look how far ahead. Now you got less than a millisecond to be able to do anything. You have from here to here to push the ball. And you're trying to, but now you're pushing up, which is going to make you even later. And then you get even later. And now you're even later. So now we're off the discus. One of the things you really need to be working on when you're in the weight room is you have no ab strength. if you watch this throw, you can just see that you can't hold yourself up because you have no ab strength, which could be contributing to your back problem, because your back, your lower back, and your abs kind of work in sync to hold your body up straight. So if you have no ab strength, that means your back's carrying all the weight that your abs aren't. There's a lot of things that could be part of your back problems. I think the big thing is you have no hip flexibility, no ankle flexibility, no shoulder flexibility, so all this stuff ends up getting put onto your back to carry the weight. So if you watch it collapse, and then you just kind of like throw yourself into the throw. Like, it's just, there's no power there, because you need to be bending over like a hinge on the hip, not crashing over with your chest on top of your knees. Here we got the second throw, which this one is after I prompted you about bending at the hip, not the shoulder. And what you see is that you don't bend, you just kind of stay upright. You don't really bend over and get into the throw much. If we're going to get even more technical in here, is you need to get that hip turning into the throw. You kind of just turn it, and then you stop and let your shoulders come through. You need to keep turning until your shoulders all the way get through. You're trying to create a whip, not just do something until your shoulders catch up. Now we go on to the full throw. This is a neat little thing that you think is kind of getting you left, but if you watch, when you line up like this, and then the first thing you do is you don't get left. So the two things is, I pointed this out with Priv is doing a similar thing. You go with the left shoulder in first, the right arm comes through with the disc trying to get ahead, and then the right leg is the last thing to move. The right leg needs to be driving you forward. The right leg is the engine of the throw. Basically what you're doing right now is you're trying to drive a car by using the trunk. There's no power here because it's all just responsive. So you're going to come through with the shoulder, then the disc, then the right foot. Now you're wide open, and your choices are, I'm going to fall and crash into the middle of the circle because I'm completely off balance. So you fall into the middle of the circle, the first place you can get, which is not the center. You're not driving to the front. You don't have the disc up in the back, up facing towards the field, creating a good orbit. You're just like, I am going to fall over, so I need to get my foot down. And then you bring your left foot around, because now you're just standing over the right foot and you're back on balance. And then you just try to power throw from that spot.